Assalamu alaikum. This is Brother Gerald again with the Ministry of Agriculture. Dr. Ridgely asked me to show some of the things that you can do as you doing your gardening, growing food. Wanted to kind of show you what we got here. This is one of the projects, and it was kind of inspired by this book here, a book written by Dr. Ridgely, and it goes into the how and the whys of the pyramids. A revolutionary book. I encourage you to get this book. You might be able to see a diagram here of water being filtrated through into these different chambers within the pyramid, an actual water purifying system. And that's the theory and the facts after he traveled over into Egypt to see that. But get the book. Get the book. You can order it through Ministry of Agriculture.moa.org. Okay, I wanted to show you what we got here. Okay, we're raising fish here, okay, and the byproducts of the fish are pumped through here and pumped over into the aquaponic system over this gravel bed here, and nutrients are taken up by the plant from the fish. Okay, also that symbiotic relationship where the plants, they thrive in this type of environment. You can see how pretty they are. Okay, and the soil medium that we use worm castings and to add. That's that super soil that we talked about earlier, worm castings. But back to the aquaponic system, the water's pumped over and it's drained through this gravel medium, and it comes in here and it drains out at this point here. The way it's designed, this what you see here is what we call a Bell siphon, and it uses atmospheric pressure differentials. Wow, atmospheric pressure differentials to create a vacuum that allows the water to fill all the way up to this point here, and then it will dump all the way out. And you'll see it dump in a minute, and I'll show you that. It'll dump and it'll allow this bed to go almost dry and allow your root structures to get oxygen. You'll see that in a minute. And so your plants are not just contained in the water, but they're also taking in air. The soil, the roots are taking in air, and also, so your roots never really set in the water, in the nutrients constantly. They go wet and then they go dry, wet and dry, and in that period, their oxygen is absorbed through the root structure. Okay, and wanted to also point out that the broccoli sprouts produce a compound called sulforaphane, and I advise you to go and look that up. Look up sulforaphane. It's an anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer. It's the bioactivity, the bioavailability, everything is there. They call this like a superfood. But I encourage you, and that's another video altogether, and maybe we can do that and talk on that. But this is what we get here, okay? And it looks like it's trying to fill up. And so if you get hungry, you can clip here, or you can reach down here, get you a fish or two. And we got these fish when they were little itty bitty fingerlings, and we raise them in this container here. Once they get big, we'll take them and put them in the bigger container outside, which is a 250 gallon, which will allow you to raise about 250 fish. But this is an inside operation here, you know, and it's quite useful. Okay, and we're filling up, and we'll go ahead and just check this. I'm gonna give it a little push here. Okay. And you can see how the water now is dumping out. Okay, and that water, as it goes out and it hits a point where it starts to water's going out, okay, and it shuts off, and now your roots are absorbing oxygen now. You're taking on oxygen, okay, and that cycle completely it recycles. It repeats that process over and over and over just by the water coming in, filling up, dumping out. And this is what we call the Bell siphon here, this apparatus here. Okay, all right. Okay, if you get any further questions on this and anything else that you might want us to expound on, please give us a call and let Dr. Ridgely know. And this is your Brother Gerald, with the Ministry of Agriculture, here to serve you once again. And I greet you in the greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.